Hello traders, how are we? Welcome to Simply Forex. Welcome to the live stream. It's Thursday, just in case you don't know what day of the week it is. It's the last live stream of the week. I hope you're all having a good week. I'm going to show you a trade that I'm currently in. So we've finally had a trade this week. It's been a bit of a slow week, as you know. So we'll take a look at that. Also, guys, we'll be taking a look at the news. We've got lots of news coming out very shortly. So if we look at the economic calendar, if somebody can please remind me, 1:30, we have all of this coming out, right? So like it did yesterday, the markets could go pretty buck wild crazy off the back of this. We shall see. All right, depends, if we how big a miss is or whatever we have with the news. So remind me of this, guys. We'll keep an eye on this. Yes. What else are we going to do? Yeah. Also, guys, we'll take your questions, obviously. Yeah. So please ask as many questions as you like about anything to do with trading. All right. And it can be literally anything, guys. Yeah. Psychology, money management, risk, strategy, trends, charts, currency pairs, anything you like about trading, guys. All right, I'm with you for the next 40 minutes, so go crazy with the questions. Also, come say hello. Yeah. So with no further ado, let's see who we've got in the house. Let's go back to the charts. So I'm keeping an eye on this Euro New Zealand, and I'll take you through this very shortly. We're very close to our stop loss, but we'll take a look. Heath, how are you? Skelts, how are you, mate? Michael, good afternoon. Father Sunglasses has got a good question as usual. How do you explain to friends or family when they ask you about what you do for a living? Okay, it's a different question. And you try to tell them you're a trader when they have never heard of trading. Yeah, okay, we'll talk about that. Father Sunglasses. How do you feel with unsupportive family who don't support you in trading? All right, it's a really good question, and we'll take a look at that very shortly. Father Sunglasses. Skelts has entered Swiss franc, Japanese yen sells. Okay, we can take a look at that. CJ, how are you, CJ? Finally, some shots fired. Yes, it has been like the charts have been like no man's land. Yeah, you remember? I think that's World War II or World War One. Nobody done, anything there. And trading's been the same. Yeah. So yeah, we finally had a trade. Let's hope it's a good one, but we shall see. What else are we looking at? Arthur, how are you? What are your thoughts on Darwin X? So Arthur, I won't get into Darwin X today, but check out in the free Discord, we've got a room dedicated to Darwin X, so check that out, Arthur. All right, Greg, good day, Greg. Shreyas, good day. Rich Paul, what's up? Okay, we've got another good question here. Okay, hello, Othman. All right, guys, so good. We've already got some questions coming in. I can see you are settling in for the live stream. So first and foremost, guys, let's look at the trade that I'm in, and I'm in Euro New Zealand dollar. Right, I'm in this trade, and I want to see some bearishness come into this chart, right? So obviously, why are we in this trade? If you look at the day chart, and if you followed my, daily analysis that I do every morning, we're clearly in a downtrend, right? We've got room to move into, back down to this area of support here. If I zoom out, you can see that, yeah, this next area of support. And we have a very, very bearish candle. Doesn't get much more bearish than that. Okay, so there are all the reasons why I'm looking to sell Euro New Zealand. And then with regards to the lower time frames, this is what I enter on. So H1, we want to see this grey area hold, right? And it's just about holding. Right, the next hour's candle is going to be very important. Yeah, we've got Obviously, we've got news coming out. This could affect Euro New Zealand dollar. It is all US dollar news, but it could have an impact on this trade. But the next hour is going to be important, right? It not only the next hour we get the next H1 candle, it's also the close of the H4 candle as well. All right, so I want to see price close back into this grey zone, something like this. Yeah, it would be good. If we drop down to the H1, I will show you where I entered. So I basically entered here, guys. Yeah, I saw this candle earlier on during the day, entered here, put my stop above here. All right, I just allowed for a little bit of room. You have these grey zones, these support and resistance levels, but a lot of the time you are going to get an outlying candle like this, who just pops above the grey zone and then comes back in. And this candle is pretty much the reason why, I give my stop loss a little bit of space above this grey zone. Okay. And this is also a nice entry candle. If you didn't enter here, you could have entered on this candle. This is a nice entry candle as well. What I want to see now, guys, is a break of this level as well. If we get a nice bearish candle come through here, then I think it's got every chance to make it back down to here. If it doesn't, breaks up this way, I'm no longer interested in selling it. If you use a normal stop loss, you'll be stopped out, or you can hedge it, and I will hedge this trade. All right, so we shall see. That's the trade that I am currently in, guys, and that is it for today. We was looking at pound Canadian dollar, okay, and this is coming down. So we'll see, we've got this grey zone through here that we're interested in, where price has reacted many times. And you can see, we've got this bearish candle so far. If we start seeing price retrace into here, moving average 20, I'm interested in buying this as well. All right, guys, so there you go. That is me. That is what I am doing. But enough about me, more about you. So the first question we've got here is, how do you explain to friends and family when they ask what you do for a living and you try to tell them that you're a trader when they've never heard of trading? So yeah, they don't know a lot about it, right? First and foremost, if I speak to my wife, my parents are no longer with us, but if I speak to my wife and my family, they know I'm a trader. And if I say I'm a trader to anyone, they straight away think stocks, right? You say I'm a trader, and you say, no, it's Forex, right? I trade like currencies. And then they're like, oh, like you change your money for holidays. I'm like, no, not quite like that either. So people really don't understand it, yeah? And they don't need to, really. All my wife, friends, family care about is, they're supportive of whatever I do, but as long as they can see it's not making me miserable, right? And it makes me happy. Now, there's been points in my trading career where it has made me miserable, and people can physically see that, and they're like, is this right for you? Is this, like any career, yeah? If it made you miserable, people would be like, are you sure you're doing the right thing, Tom? Maybe change career, right? And there was a time where trading was like that, but now, I'm in a good place with my trading, and it's slow, methodical, boring, like I always say to you guys, right? And it allows me lots of freedom. So as long as that continues, and it gives me enough money to do the things that I enjoy in life, and it, I do enjoy it, and it does make me happy, then friends and family are supportive, yeah? Although they haven't got a clue what I'm talking about when I talk about a doji candle or I'm selling euro yen. They're like, what is Tom talking about again? Especially when I'm down the pub. If I talk to my mates, I'm like, oh, right, I'm looking to sell euro New Zealand. There was a nice candle at resistance. They're like, straight over their head. They're like, anyway, Tom, yeah, is it my round, right? But it's like if my friend talked, let's say he was in sales and he said, Tom, I sold, 4 computers today. again, I wouldn't really be that interested. Yeah, I wouldn't be like, oh, really? Who'd you sell them to? How, you know, what type of computers? You know, I don't care either. You know, we just get together and talk about football, basically. So yeah, there you go. I think if you find something you enjoy and you can, you can seriously make money from trading, and it's something that makes you happy, then keep doing it, right? Like any career, and then people will support you. Right, what else have we got? We had another question here. Rich Paul, sup Tom, yesterday I wanted to ask, when I take a trade, I feel I'm going to make money, which isn't good. I wouldn't say that's bad, like when I take a trade, the idea is to make money, right? There's no qualms about that. Every time I enter a trade, I'm not entering it to lose money, right? But that can happen also. But the important thing here is when you enter a trade, you shouldn't be thinking about money, right? At all. Yeah, part of trading, and this may seem a little counterintuitive, is to really detach yourself from money. Yeah, this is like, it's almost like you're playing a computer game, right? And you have certain things happen on the screen, you get a certain setup, you enter. I'm not thinking, oh, I can make this on this trade, or I to be honest with you, I'm thinking more that I could lose this on this trade. Yeah, I think about risk first. So I always make sure, my initial trade is 1%, and that's my initial thought. Not how much money can I make. Really, it should be, how much money I can lose. And that's not me being pessimistic. That's me keeping a tight control of money and risk management, right? And also I can control that. I can control my risk. I can't control how much money I make on a trade, right? If let's say the market just shoots off, right, and you have a really nice trade, yeah, or it just slowly, ticks up to your target, I can't control that, but I can control where I enter, how much I risk, and how I feel, taking that trade. All right, so yeah, don't think about money when you take a trade, but do have full comprehension of your risk and what you could lose for that trade. All right. Yeah, look after risk and the profits will take care of themselves, right? I always say control the controllables. And if you think about your trading edge is basically made up of your strategy, right? It's made up of your money and risk management, right? And it's made up of your psychology. Now, if you're basically juggling these three balls, if you like, when you're trading. And if they're all in unison, you juggle nicely, right? And chances are you will have good trades and your trading edge will play out. So just focus on controlling them. How much money you make, you can't control that. The market will tell you what it's willing to give you, right? So yeah, there you go. But it's, at least it's a positive thing. You're going into a trade confident, Rich Paul. So there you go. Offman, hello. Carlos, hello. We've got another question from Father Sunglasses. What else we got here? Do we have a question? So let's have a quick, we'll take that question, but let's take a look. Skelt says he's entered Swiss franc, Japanese yen sells. All right, so let's take a look at that. Where are we? Swiss franc, Japanese yen. So first and foremost, right, any yen trade, selling yen trade, will be against the day trend, or potentially not with this one actually. Right, here's a question. Let's all get involved with this, right? So Skelts is selling Swiss franc, Japanese yen, right? What I want you to do, so everyone right now, I want you to get involved in the live chat. Please leave your comment in the live chat. What is the trend on the day chart? Basically the chart you're looking at right now. What is the trend of Swiss franc, Japanese yen? Okay, so everyone right now, leave your answer. Hi, Aya. How the devil are we? Liquid H Liverpool. Yes. But guys, yeah, get involved. Right, so C11. I like it. You sound like R7. C11. I hope you're an exceptional football player with your own make of boots that say C11. So bullish, uptrend. Greg saying downtrend, Arthur saying downtrend. So when you say bearish, guys, I'm assuming you're saying downtrend. I'm just talking about trend. Is this an uptrend, a downtrend, or is it in a range? Right? So we've got up, down, up, 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 down, down, up, down. So guys, right? It is about 50-50 uptrend and downtrend. Okay, maybe a little bit more uptrend, right? And that is the problem with Swiss franc yen for me, right? There's an argument for both, right? So are we seeing this, for example, right? Okay. So people who are seeing the uptrend must be seeing this. Okay. So higher highs, higher lows, right? Uptrend, and then we'll see what happens here. Okay. Now, it's difficult for me to disagree with that. Okay. Or who's seeing this? Right. That's a downtrend. Yeah. We have got, lower lows. Potentially, this is a new lower high, right? We don't know yet. This isn't confirmed, but we are getting lower lows. So there's an argument for both with Swiss franc, Japanese yen, right? And if the market isn't clear, right, we actually had this, not argument, that's the wrong word. We actually debated this trend in the VIP Trading Academy. And it's tricky, right? But I don't want to be in tricky markets. I want very easy to read buy markets or uptrends, right? Or sell markets in downtrends. I don't want this ambiguity. Yeah, word of the day, ambiguity. So I don't want this. So for me, I would stay, clear of this trade, right? Having said that, right, we have a very bearish candle, and if this is making lower highs, then maybe, right? Now, if we drop down to the lower time frames, Swiss franc yen looks like very good selling opportunity, yeah? And when Scouts told me, he said it may be against day trend, right? So long as you're aware of that. Now, if you look at H4 here, again, this is just difficult, right? Where's the last low? Where's the last high? Where's the last low? If we get a trend like this, right, which is basically what we're seeing, it is very difficult to decipher structure. And what I mean by structure is higher highs, higher lows, lower highs. It's very difficult to determine structure, right? Whereas if I get a market like this, yeah, and it ends up, still starts at the same point, yeah, still finishes at the same point. But this is what I like trading. It's very clear and concise, right? We get a break of the high, we get a retrace. I want to start buying in here. We get a break of the high, we get a retrace. I want to start buying in here. Yeah, very simple, right? That's simple price action. So this is tricky, right? However, it's safe to say that H4 is in a downtrend. Even if there's a bit of an area through here, right? Okay, and we have broken this area. Okay, now so the H4 is bearish. Okay, and we're below the moving average 20, right? But if we look at the H1, this is the nicest set. Okay, take that back. Because again, right, this isn't 100% either. Right, again, let's just follow structure. This is all you need to do, right? First of all, determine structure. Now, let's ask this question again to everyone. So on the H1 chart, what is the trend of this H1 chart? All right, so everyone get involved again. Yeah, what is the trend of Swiss franc yen on the hourly chart? Okay, so everyone, uptrend, downtrend, or range? Let me know. Okay, so we've got uptrend, uptrend, uptrend. Poo Poppy downtrend, Arthur downtrend. Structure hasn't been broken. Okay, Arthur. Downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, 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 uptrend, uptrend, downtrend. You see what I mean, guys? Again, there's not much clarity. Yeah. And just a very simple point is, if you are not clear of structure, do not trade that pair. If you can't clearly determine that it's in an uptrend, do not buy it. If you can't clearly determine structure or trend is in a downtrend, do not sell it. You have to stay out of the market. Simple as that. Now, again, to determine trend, you need to understand the highs and the lows, right? So let's take it from here. I'm going to say this is in an uptrend. Lower high, lower low, and these lows never broke, which we all know is a telltale sign that trend is stopping or turning, right? Now, as soon as we break this high here, we're in an uptrend. Okay, so I would say H1 uptrend. We're also just above the moving average 20 now as well, right? And there's a nice little level formed through here, right? If we take into account this last low, this last high, and potentially this is a new low, this has become an interesting level, right? So from here, this is how I would trade it. If I'm just looking at the H1, this is how I would trade it, right? If I get a break of this high, I would buy it. If I get a break of this low, we could sell it. Simple as that. Because if we get a break, that is a confirmation of the uptrend, right? And we can start buying. If it does this, so it does that, and then breaks this area here, there's a strong probability that it will come back down to these lows. All right, so that's how I'm seeing Swiss franc. There is a bit too much ambiguity is the word. I know I keep using this word, but it's not that clear. So again, guys, if you're not clear on structure, don't trade it. Okay, simple as that. And also, guys, at this point, it's worth me mentioning it because I need a drink. So if you're enjoying my analysis and enjoy the live streams, my trade ideas that I give you every day, then please come join the channel. Yeah, subscribe to the channel right now. Itchy nose. We would love to have you. All right. Also, guys, can everyone please smash the like button? It just really helps support the vid and the channel. I'm going to have a drink while you do that. Thank you. So yeah, there you go. Swiss franc yen has expensive swaps for me. Yeah, swaps. Yeah, it's like the cost of trading, but yeah, some swaps are less desirable than others for sure. Right, have we got any more questions, guys? Let me scroll back up. Do we have some questions up here? So another good question from Father Sunglasses, right? Father Son, I enjoy your questions. Yeah, thank you for sharing them with us. And, and everyone enjoys them. Yeah, they're good topics to discuss, right? Now, how do you deal with self-doubt? Okay, they're good questions, but sometimes I have to give them a bit of thought. The more, like, again, the more I'm constantly, I do not confess to, to knowing everything about trading. If you feel like that, the market will humble you, right? So I am a student of the game, yeah, and that game is trading, and I'm always learning, right? And long may that continue. Don't ever think you've got it sussed, right? But over time, yeah, there is going to be, a confidence in your trading and your setup and how you trade, right? And if you keep doing the right things and control the controllables, I don't mean to go back to the same thing, but if you control, the three things I spoke about, your strategy, your entries, your money and risk management, and your own psychology, your emotions, then self-doubt doesn't come in that much, right? You believe in what you're doing, you're confident, you've been doing it for many years, and self-doubt doesn't creep in. But of course it creeps in now and again. And when does self-doubt creep in? When things aren't going well, right? So let's say you have, 3 bad trades on the trot, right? Very possible, yeah? What you mustn't start doing is changing everything, right? You start doubting yourself, you start questioning your entries, you start, perhaps changing your strategy somehow, or you just start doing stupid things, right? And it doesn't matter if I have 3, 4, or 5 losing trades on the bounce. What I do the next day will be exactly the same. My setup is the same. My money and risk management is the same. My emotions are the same. I say emotions are the same. Obviously, you can't help but feel a bit of a knock if you've had 5 bad trades, right? But the thing is, you have to get up and do exactly the same thing. Your system isn't broken. You might just be in a difficult environment. Yeah, sometimes the market isn't in sync with your strategy or how you're reading the market. And there will be times like that. 100% there's times like that for me throughout the year, right? If you check out the VIP Trading Academy, look at last year's results, you will see some months are, not very good, some months are brilliant, right? You're gonna, like anything, you're not going to be, wonderfully successful every day at your job. But the key point here is just keep doing what you know works over a long period of time, right? I don't judge myself in 1 week's trading, right? I generally take a bit of stock at the end of each month, right? How much am I up or down, right? And yeah, just know that your edge will play out over time. So that self-doubt is pointless. It's irrelevant. Just keep doing the right things and finding the highest probability trades. I know it makes me sound like a bit of an emotionless robot, but you do need to be. Yeah, it's just keep doing the same things. Get to a point where the routine is so ingrained in you, you just see a setup, you trade. You don't see a setup, you don't trade. Yeah, and that's all you do. Very robotic, right? So yeah, there you go. So Forex trading is actually CFD trading. So you can, so I trade the spot markets. Right, is this news coming out? Okay, let me take a quick look at my Euro New Zealand trade. Okay, this is encouraging. We wanted that to go down. Okay, so let's play Guess the News game. So let's take a look at Aussie dollar, US dollar. So we're going to play Guess the News game. Was the news for the US dollar better than expected, worse than expected, or as expected? Now, that US dollar reaction so far is quite muted. right? Let's take a look at another US dollar pair. Okay, if anything, a little bit of US dollar strength coming into the market. Okay, maybe. Let's have a look at another US dollar pair. Let's look at US dollar Canadian dollar. Okay, so some US dollar strength. Let's have a look at US dollar yen. All right, so there's a little bit of US dollar strength. It's literally been a minute and 30 seconds after the news, and how this candle looks now could be very different in 1 hour. But I'm going to say that some of the news was a little bit better than expected. Okay, this is usually when I get egg on my face. Let's check the news. Okay, a real mixed bag. Okay, I would say predominantly most of the news is, you know, worse than expected. Okay, yeah. Okay, so surprising to see a bit of US dollar strength. On the back of these results, you would expect US dollar weakness because the majority are worse than expected. And there you go, guys. That's how unpredictable the news is. Let's go back. So really, we should see US dollar weakness off the back of all of this. Let's go back to the charts. Nope, still seeing US dollar strength. Pound US dollar. Let's see. We'll come back to this, guys. The initial reaction is US dollar strength. But like I say, this hourly candle, you know, I'm not going to jump in on a trade after the news, right? I'm going to give it at least an hour. So let's see what this hourly candle looks like later on. Right, guys, so there's the news come out. Thank you, Heath, for reminding me. I was a little bit late to the news. John, what's up, Tom? Happy trading. Yeah, you too, mate. What else are we looking at? So Carlos has got a question here. Tom, why do you think so many prop trading companies have been closing? And then what do you recommend? Axis seems very reliable and secure. Yeah, so we've also got Liquid H. What's the reason for prop firms closing, guys? So you know, I am not an expert on this subject, right? But things that I do know about, you know, finance companies, which is pretty much what a prop firm is, right? They are heavily regulated. And there is a shed load of compliance, right, before they onboard clients, right? Whereas a prop firm seems like they can onboard anyone, and this compliance and all this regulation didn't really apply to them, okay? And prop firms, and there's almost no barriers to entry, right? You saw new prop firms, you know, open overnight, bomb. You know, there's thousands of them, right? So I just think the industry got to a point where it needed to regulate itself a bit better, you know, put some compliance in place and get a grip of that industry, because I imagine there's a lot of traders, individuals like you, losing money with prop firms, right? You know, that wouldn't be allowed to go on in a lot of industries. So I can't help but think this compliance and this regulation has come into the market to really get a grip of that. And because of this, there's been certain restraints. I'm not sure exactly, but been certain restraints put on prop firms. Some have buckled under the pressure, some haven't, right? So what you'll find is there'll be less prop firms in the market, and let's say the more reputable and, you know, better prop firms out there will stay, you know. So it might end up being a better industry off the back of this. It just needs this cull, if you like, and then, you know, and this regulation and compliance put in to protect you more than anyone. So yeah, watch this space. It'll be interesting. And yeah, so yeah, Axie. So Axie Select, right? So Carlos, I know, is doing this Axie Select. So what some brokers are doing, right, are doing like an in-house prop firm challenge, right? So they will give you money, their money to trade with, if you prove yourself as a trader, right? So one of our preferred brokers, guys. So right now, you know, my trades that I give you, my Euro, New Zealand dollar trade, etc. I put everything in the VIP Trading Academy, right? And in there, you get all of my trade signals, you get all of my tutorials from stuff I've learned over the years, and you get direct access to me, okay, should you need help with anything to do with trading. And that is all free at the moment. We're running a promotion. It's free if you sign up with one of our preferred brokers. And one of those preferred brokers run an in-house prop firm. They're award-winning, you know, compliance up to the eyeballs. So you're probably better off doing something like that. All right. And if you want free access, guys, check out the promo. The editor will leave a message. So yeah, there's my couple of pence on prop firms, basically, guys. All right. That's how I see that industry. Okay, what else have we got? News turns my trades into gambling. Yeah, it does. You know, news could go either way, guys. It really does. Yeah, you could flip a coin. Okay, what else are we looking at? So, okay, can we check pound New Zealand dollar? I have a setup for sell positions. All right, let's have a look at a pair now. So let's start with the day chart. The only thing with this day chart, and which is why I preferred Euro New Zealand dollar, and why we speak of it, let's take a quick look at Euro New Zealand dollar. Okay. Yeah, so the only problem with this pound New Zealand dollar trade, yeah, which is why I preferred Euro New Zealand dollar, was this area of support here. You can see the market has reacted at this level. Okay. It's not to say it might go deeper into this level, it might. And just looking at daily trend, you know, my idea would be to sell it also. So we're on the same page there. Yeah, we're getting lower highs, lower lows, right? And we had a nice big bearish candle. So the setup's very similar to Euro New Zealand, and I'm selling that. Now, if we drop down to the H4, what are we seeing here? So there's a level through here, right? You can clearly see that. I would even push it up to include these last wicks. This entire level. Why did I move my grey zone up? Because I wanted to touch these wicks as well, right? We've included everything now. So this entire area is a good area for sells, right? And H4 structure is clearly looking good. Let's say the moving average 20 comes round, somewhere in this grey zone, okay? I would look to sell, all right? And that would be a good H4 setup, okay? But let's look at the H1 now, because as you know, guys, I look at multiple time frames to get all the information I can, right? Has that broke? Yes. So on the H1, this is in an uptrend because this has broke. Those highs have been broken by this candle here, right? Maybe if you can just see that, let me put my cursor over it. Let me zoom in, right? This is what I look for, guys. I look for, so that the body of that candle right there, can you see my cursor has broken both of those highs? That is a change in structure. That is an uptrend. Now, you know, I still like this area on the H4, but what would I want to see now? I'd want to see something like this, right? If we've got H1 structure like this, maybe we get some movement like this, and then bang. Then we get a break of the H1 again, and then I'll be interested in selling it from here. But this H1 structure is in an uptrend. All right, so let's see what happens here, guys, all right? But yeah, there's my thoughts on pound New Zealand dollar. But you could just, you know, that's you know, I'm not saying ignore the H1, but on the H4, if you get a nice wick candle that looks like that, big red candle with a nice wick, you could just sell it on the back of that. Sell it, stop up here, target back down to these lows. All right, so you know, that's how I roll with my entries. I will take H4 entries, I will take H1 entries, and I really like it if H4 and H1 match up. Yeah, I really like those entries. All right, so yeah, that's pound New Zealand dollar. Are the correlations and sentiments given by MyFX book legit? Are they worth referring to? I'm not sure, Shreyas, to be honest with you. Are the correlation sentiments given by MyFX book? I don't know. I've never used it. Yeah, not sure, Shreyas. I don't know enough about that. CJ, yeah, it's mostly because they go into insolvency. The most recent one closed because of this. Okay, so some of the prop firms have gone into insolvency, right? So that's obviously a reason for them closing as well, CJ. Father Sunglasses, how long did it take you to become a good trader? I am still becoming a good trader. Yeah, you're a student of the game, right? But I would say around, I've trading Forex, right, for about 8 years. Okay, and got good at it after about 4 years. Right, well, no, I've probably been trading it about 9 years now, and yeah, it took me about 4 years, I would say. But it's not really, that's not the important question, right? Because everyone's going to take different times to get good at trading, right? Some people take to it very quickly, some people don't, right? But it took me a long time, around 4 years. But that's because I didn't put in the time and dedication required before then. Right, I still had full-time jobs. I was still juggling a full-time job with learning trading, right? And I'm not saying everyone give up your full-time job, right? Yeah, that would not be the best idea. Yeah, but you've got to dedicate enough time to your trading, whilst holding down a job before you make that transition to trading full-time. Yeah, and when I made that transition to trading full-time, it was hard, right? There was all this extra pressure on me to make a living from this thing that I knew I could. I was, consistently profitable and I could make a living from it. But all the psychology that come with that, I wasn't prepared for. Yeah, I basically stopped an income to focus on, which was pretty much my side hustle, if you like. But I wanted to make my side hustle my full-time job. And it was difficult to start with, right? But then, after a certain amount of time, you just settle into it, you get into your routine, and, it becomes your job, and I keep talking about it. You want it slow, dull, and boring. Yeah. And that's how I trade. Slow, dull, and boring. I bet you can't wait to go for a drink with me. But everyone's different, Father Sunglasses. It's how much time you can put into something. Practice makes perfect. There's no truer word said for anything. Yeah, you put in the time and dedication, you will get there, right? But you've got to combine that with discipline and patience, and it's not an overnight get rich quick scheme. Yeah, it takes many years to learn it. You may not take as many years as me. I hope you don't, right? And you can benefit from, my years of experience or other people, whatever, right? But, you've got to take it seriously. That's probably the key point here. You've got to take it seriously, and you've got to have enough money in the game to take it seriously. Yeah, so this is another point. I'm sure you've all had, when you first start out, maybe you have an account with, I don't know, $2,000 in, right? And you're like, right, if I make $20 or whatever, I've made 1%. But you don't care enough about $20. Yeah, you're like, I can lose $20, and that's poisonous. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you have $2,000 in an account or $200,000. You have to treat each and every trade the same, following the same strategy, the same risk management, the same psychology, right? Once you focus on that process and understand that, then it will come. And then you just scale up, right? What was once $20, you scale up, becomes $200, becomes $2,000, right? But then again, there's more psychology with dealing with bigger numbers. But again, you've got to detach yourself from the money. It's about percentages, this game. That's all it's about. It's about probability and percentages. Money is a byproduct. All right. So, yeah, there you go. Do you have preferred brokers for US clients? We are on the brink of sealing a deal with a US client. We won't say who it is just yet, but obviously a highly reputable, award-winning broker. And as soon as we do we will announce that we have one. All right. So watch this space, maybe in the next week or so. All right. So we'll let you know. Okay, some B book, A book stuff. There's my understanding. CJ, thank you for pitching in with the information about some of the prop firms. Yeah, this is a good point as well. Pooh Poppy says the key to being good is loving doing it. Yeah, you know, I don't feel like I go to work. Yeah, I feel very privileged to do what I do for a living. Yeah, I don't have to answer to a boss. You know, the market is my boss, and it's a very strict boss, right? But I don't have to answer to a boss. It gives me a lot of freedom, and I enjoy trading. Okay, I do, and that's a good thing. That's only a good thing, right? And I love what I do. You know, I don't know who said it, but they said, if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work another day in your life. And that's how I feel, right? But there's been lots of blood, sweat, and tears to get there. And the flip side of that is if you enjoy trading, to start with, you want to trade, right? You're like, right, you know, this is another point from transitioning from part-time to full-time. You're like, right, this is my job. I've got to be active. But the crazy world of trading is you haven't. And it's almost best that you don't, right? So many new traders overtrade. Fact. That will be probably 80% of you's problem, right? You see setups everywhere and you want to trade them all, right? Mistake. Don't, right? I enjoyed trading, so I wanted to trade. Mistake. Yeah? You just wait patiently for your, you know, top-notch A1 setups, and you do nothing apart from that. And that's what I like about it. It gives me so much free time. All right. So everything's very counterintuitive with trading, right? Less is more, right? If you have a job, you're like, right, I want to be really productive. I want to, you know, get a pay increase or get a promotion. You know, I've got to show that I'm working hard. It's the opposite for trading. Do less. Unless you're a, you know, scalper on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, do less. Okay. Yeah, very counterintuitive that. And also, every job you have, it's almost like, right, I'm doing this to make more money. Trading, you've got to detach yourself from money. It's about percentages and probability. Another contradictory thing you need to get your head around. All right. It really is a mental game. And guys, I have just noticed the time. I've got so into chatting about all of these things that, but guys, if you've enjoyed the live stream, please subscribe and smash the like button. Let me just mention a few things quickly. Please come and join our free Discord channel. We have a community of traders sharing knowledge, ideas, trades. Come join the free Discord, create a username, verify yourself, we let you in. Secondly, we are giving away free access to the VIP Trading Academy right now. I give you my trade signals, I give you years and years of tutorials, and you get direct access to me. Okay, so check that out. It's free at the moment. And finally, guys, if you would like to show your support for the channel, then you can become a Simply Forex YouTube member. All right, guys, so check it all out. Have a great trading day, and I shall see you next time.